Bitcoin has seen a mega crash from 69,000 plummeting all the way down to the lows of today. We had the complete collapse of FTX, which sent shockwaves through the industry. But through all of this, Bitcoin just recently made a major warning sign, something that it's never done before in all of this crash. It's just done for the first time, which could signal some more fear to come. Hit that subscribe button. My name is Steve. Let's jump into the video. Right here, looking right here on the chart, Bitcoin has just done something for the first time ever. And we're going to make sense of it on this video. I'm going to show you several other charts which are telling a very similar story, all for the first time ever. But what do they mean? What do they mean for Bitcoin's near future and long-term future? Those are two very different questions. So in today's video, we're going to do three things. First, I'm going to present to you all of the facts and all of the charts. And then we're going to say what this actually means. What are the charts saying to us with the facts? And then the last part, I'm going to give my honest opinion of what I think is happening at the current moment. So let's get into this. This purple line, I want to draw your attention to this purple line. It has been incredibly powerful for Bitcoin since 2015. So if we go back to 2015, Bitcoin had a high and we had our first bottom and we had our second bottom. Both of these bottoms happened at this purple line. We did wick through 20% wick through this purple line, which is a major clue. I want you to remember that clue and we're going to come back and revisit that clue. But we did have a textbook double bottom. In the next cycle, 2017 top, we had a top here and we had bottom one happen here and bottom two happened here, both of which got very, very, very close to the purple line, holding nice support. Now, the 2015 cycle, as you remember, we had two wick throughs. Now, to our most recent cycle, this was our cycle high here, and we had our pivot number one here, and we are looking for what's to come next. But here's where things get very interesting, because Bitcoin has just printed below here for the first time ever. We've never printed a candle below this purple line in all of the time that Bitcoin has been alive for 13 years. We've never done it. So what does this mean? Are other charts saying anything similar? Let's look at some more facts. This is the 21 MA and the 200 MA. We're on the weekly chart. The yellow line has never crossed through the red line, the 200 MA. Never done it. We came very, very, very close in 2015. We came incredibly close in 2019. And we made a video a couple months ago when we were not crossed yet. And we said this is probably inevitable that we're going to cross because of what we're going to get to in a moment. But we did have a cross after a couple months, and it's been some time since. And now we're holding this yellow line as resistance, complete resistance from here back in September, and most recently in November. But what does this mean? Why are we having this cross down for the first time? Why are we printing prices below this purple line for the first time ever? Some people may be watching and they say, oh, it's because of FTX. It's not. It's not because of FTX. Otherwise, a few months ago, we said it's inevitable that the yellow line crosses the red line. That's way before FTX happened. But why is this happening? And how about another chart here? We have the RSI down below. We have price action above. The RSI is substantially lower than it's ever been before. In fact, we had this low back here in 2015. We went even a little bit lower in 2019, and we went much lower here in 2022. But why? Why is this happening? As I mentioned, the first part of this video, we're going to present the facts and only the facts. The second part of the video, we're going to interpret the facts. And the third part of the video, I'm going to give my opinion. The fourth chart we're going to look at here is the yearly candles. Each one of these candles represents 1 year of price action. If you draw your attention over here to this big red candle, this is not a friendly candle. This is not a good candle. It hasn't closed yet, but this this would be literally the first time we've ever closed a bearish engulfing candle on the yearly chart. What is a bearish engulfing candle? It means that the body of this red candle is bigger than the previous green body. It engulfs it. It can eat it. Whenever that happens, that's a trend reversal candle. It's a trend reversal to the downside, which means that the downside wouldn't affect just this year. It would affect potentially the next couple candles. Now, again, this is an engulfing candle on the yearly chart. Never happened, but engulfing candles happen on all sorts of time frames. They're not 1000% accurate, but we do have to take the probabilities into play. Now, if you want to look at candles and the power of candles, this is the 6-month chart. We showed you this candle, that this was a trend reversal candle to the upside. You can see what happened after that. You can see that this is a trend reversal candle to the upside. We had this high of 20K. We went all the way down to 3,000 something. This was a trend reversal candle to the upside. And right here on this channel, we presented this candle. Back about a year and a half ago, this was a trend reversal candle to the downside. And it was tough to listen to that candle at the time because we had just printed a new all-time high. Everybody was super excited. But then this candle printed on the 6-month chart. This is a trend reversal candle to the downside. When we made that video, a lot of people said, there's no way this is going to happen. There's no way there's a trend reversal to the downside. Nobody looks at the 6-month chart. This is a bunch of crap. And you can see what happened in the last year and a half. It's pretty safe to say we had a trend reversal to the downside. So when we look at these charts, why are we printing a candle below this purple line for the first time ever? Why did we have a cross down with this yellow line for the first time ever? Why is the RSI at the lowest level it's ever been? Here's what I want you to understand, and this is part number 2 of the video when we explain the facts. What are the facts actually saying to us? Well, look no further than this chart right here. And this is what we've explained several times on our channel, but the RSI went up to here back in 2013. In our cycle high in 2017, we did not go as high as that one. Therefore, when we didn't go as high in the RSI, we went a little bit lower than the previous bottom here. Do you see what I mean? We had our previous bottom here. We went a little bit lower here. Why? Because we didn't go quite as high. We went less high, so we went a little bit lower. Now take the next cycle. We went a lot less high, right? We went to 96 before. This one was to 91. So when we dropped down here, we needed to drop below our previous bottom, which we did. So is it out of the ordinary that Bitcoin is doing this? No, these are cycles. And we know based on the 5.3 theory that each cycle is less strong by a factor of 5.3. That's not my opinion. Those are just facts. And you can see it a little bit more clearly here. Back in the earlier cycles, Bitcoin put its head way above the red line. Back here in 2011. And then in 2013, we put our head just a little bit above the red line. It wasn't way through the red line like here. It was a little bit through the red line. And then in 2018, we put our head just to the red line. We didn't even make it through. We didn't plow through like before. So we had a strong rally here, less strong here, and less strong here by a factor of 5.3. So on our next cycle, we didn't even get to the red line because we went at a less strong cycle at 5.3. So before, if we were plowing our head through the red line and coming down for double bottoms and getting our head to the red line and then double bottoms, we didn't even get to the red line. We got to the green line. So it's only natural that we're going to shift downward. Each cycle is getting less strong by a factor of 5.3. So when we close our first body below here, is it out of the ordinary? Could it have never happened? Of course, it was eventually going to happen because the cycles are getting less strong. Just like this one. We came very close to crossing, but we didn't in 2015. We came close to crossing, but we didn't in 2019. But we didn't go nearly as high as we did before. So the yellow line wasn't nearly as high as it was before. It wasn't nearly as far away from the red line as it was before. It was a lot closer to the red line. So naturally, we went through. This is going to be something that plays out even in the next cycle. For example, in the next cycle for Bitcoin with price action and the RSI here, Bitcoin's RSI is not going to reach as high as 91 on the monthly. In fact, we may have some trouble right here at 71, 72. And you can see the previous pivot point here at 72. You can see that the support here at 72, the resistance, the support, the resistance at 72 is all the way through until September 2012. So one wild prediction would be Bitcoin's next cycle top has a large amount of trouble here, which would make the next cycle bottom fall a lot lower than this one, right? You're talking maybe even into the 30 range, the low 30 range of a cycle low. So this is only natural. You're going to see a downtrending cycle with lower lows and lower highs. And this is what's expected based on the charts, based on all of the facts. Bitcoin cycles are less powerful by a factor of 5.3, which means we're going to start playing with a lot lower levels that we've never played with before, because we're not going to see the high levels that we saw before. Makes sense, right? So when we start to look and break some of these things down, we have to take into consideration all the facts in the charts. Now back to this candle. This candle will print at the end of the year, right? This may be our first ever yearly bearish engulfing candle, and we'll have to revisit it. But for now, let's try to make sense of this. What do we think is going to happen? Let's talk about part number 3 of the video. As I explained in part number 2, these things are expected. All of the charts that we've had so far in all of these years in Bitcoin, they're going to be shifting simply because Bitcoin is not having as powerful of bull markets as we've had previously by a factor of 5.3. And those are not my opinions. These are all the facts just laid out in front of us. When we close below here, we cannot be surprised. Expect more of it to come in the future. In fact, Bitcoin's next rally, we may not even get to this green line. We may only get to this orange line. And maybe we don't even get to the orange line. Maybe we're met with resistance a little bit sooner. But we cannot expect Bitcoin to continue at the momentum and the growth rate that it did in the early days. It's getting more established. There's more money in the market. And because of that, there's less volatility. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you right back here in the next video. Peace and love to the fellow underdogs. Do you want to know when to buy and when to sell? Click this video right now.